Hey guys, happy Sunday. I know I'm a day late, but that is because today is officially the last day of May and I have completed the Mermay challenge. I'm going to do something really simple today and just give you a really quick flip through to show you what I managed to do and a couple of ideas that I'm not quite finished with yet. Some of these are going to look familiar and others are going to be new. It's also going to be something that I start working on in the future to bring coloring pages with some of the images. So everybody knows this one. It was a video as well as a coloring page for celebration on day 1. Day 2 was warrior. I wasn't sure what to do, and so I decided just to do something really cute with her doing yoga, and Duncan, again, not knowing exactly what it is just trying to copy her in the water. 3 is a little bit crowded. It was around here I realized I was going to have to start doing double page spreads if I wanted to do scenes this large. This day was sunset, and instead of doing something like them sitting and watching a sunset, I decided to do them painting sunsets, and maybe they're painting while it's sunset, I don't know. But they're doing a bunch of pictures of sunsets and he's all excited to be showing her what he did. While she's over here like mastering it, of course. So you can see I started skipping double pages here to give plenty of room for coloring as well as larger pictures like this one. This was Star Wars, and so I figured they were probably watching the movies, they had a bunch of treats, and decided to break out in a water gun fight. He is a stormtrooper, so he misses everything, and I think she was supposed to be dressed up as Boba Fett, and of course their beach ball suddenly has a very new look. This is probably going to be a fun little coloring page if I decide to do it that way. From there, this is one of my favorites. If the camera would focus, that would be really helpful. Does it help if I bring it up? Yeah. So this one is royalty, and instead of doing something like, him being royalty, I decided they were going to go to Burger King. And he is stuffing his face full of french fries. They've got a little buffet here. She's got a little shake, and he has one also, but he's much more preoccupied with the fries. They are the best things ever. So this is another one you're going to recognize. This is Tsunami. I really like how the OHUHU Markers colored this in, so I'm definitely going to be doing some more of these later on my own time. And I'll be posting them to Instagram if you want to follow along and see little updates. This one was Tranquil. They were out sunbathing, and she's still awake, I'm pretty sure, whereas he is just like zonked out. This would also be a pretty cute little coloring thing, I think. So this is where I started really kind of killing myself with Mermay. This is their imagination up here. This is them being heroic. They've got their tridents. She's got her little dolphin friend. He thinks he's, I don't know, Poseidon or something. And then the reality is he's just like wailing around with a frickin' stick, and she has one of those little dolphin floats that every kid with a pool ever had, and they can't stay on top of them, so she's immediately flipped off it. So this is kind of like the imagination versus the reality. Which made it very difficult, by the way, to do like multiple characters, multiple scenes on some days. I just wanted to scream. I don't know why I decided to do that. This was one day I wasn't feeling particularly inspired, but I thought it was kind of cute anyway. This was Best Buddy. He has, of course, dropped half his ice cream, so she's just offering him, well, she's just giving him half her own, and it was just something kind of cute. This here, I hated doing. It broke my freaking heart. I wanted Mermay to be lots of fun. I wanted Duncan and Puja to be like happy and like nothing could go wrong in their lives. And then the prompt of ashamed came along. So this is her parents are throwing her a birthday party. They invited some local kids from like, I don't know, I guess her dad works and they brought their kids along. Duncan has brought her the best gift ever. It is a lifelike T-Rex with a human victim included, but she is out there playing with her friends. He is stuck in the pool, unable to join her, and he is like hating his life because he has a tail. And then you have Puja in the background really questioning her choices and kind of abandoning him to go play with those kids and kind of, realizing they suck. Also, I don't know what the deal with this kid is back here. I'm just gonna like Photoshop them out when I eventually go digital on this. But yeah, this one broke my heart. I really didn't want to do it. Luckily, there's a part 2. The next day was Outcast, which is written up here, that's what I'm pointing at. So, you know, she finally realizes Duncan is her friend, she wants to spend her birthday with Duncan. The other kids are kind of pointing at her like, what the hell is this girl's deal? And she has broken out her new dinosaur toy with her human-like victim, and he and her are just like being little outcasts, and they're playing with their dinosaurs. And I just feel the need to explain that no, he is not destroying her toys. She is not looking horrified for that reason. She's just really into the fact that the T-Rex is eating its human, and is like, oh no, poor Joe, while Duncan is coming in to save him with the Brontosaurus. He's not breaking anything. He's not like vengeful. He's just, you know, playing along, and she's really into it. Fury was another one of those things I didn't know what to do with. This was a suggestion from Anthony, actually, because Duncan is a very laid-back kid. He's not going to get angry very easily, and so, you know, he figured, well, what's something that he loves? He loves donuts. A bird flying off his donut is probably going to make him pretty angry, and there's Puja just like, what has got him so upset? So, this was actually something I really enjoyed doing. Alien, I kind of wanted to go the route of like having them watch the movie Alien, but I prefer the idea of them just looking out for aliens. They have their little tinfoil hats, and then they end up seeing a shooting star instead. It's kind of like a little peaceful, tranquil setting, and I really enjoyed doing this one. It came out way better than I thought it would. From there, we have Adrift. This was also one of my favorites, though I'm not sure why. This was after he and Puja watched Castaway, and something you will notice is that in all of these, Duncan is going to play the damsel in distress. And even though he is a mer person and he can just swim away into the island, he is afloat on a raft, drifting through the sea, scared to go in the water. And he has his beach ball Wilson. When in reality, it's just him drifting around the swimming pool in his little donut float with the beach ball. So from there, we have part 2, I guess. This is Rescued. This actually came out way better than I thought it would. He's still on his raft with Wilson. He's got the lifesaver, someone throwing it to him. I really like how I made it look actiony. It looks like somebody is throwing something to him. The positioning was really well done. The composition, I think, kind of nailed it on that one. And of course, in reality, it's just Puja scooping out the beach ball with the pool skimmer. So, maybe not a coloring book worthy, but definitely pretty cute. This one I was also lost on. The prompt was deity, and you know, I didn't know what to do. I thought Poseidon would be too, you know, generic. He's a kid, he doesn't even know what birthdays are, he doesn't know what religion is. And so I just ended up doing something kind of simple like this. He is praying with his donuts, and Puja is kind of trying to figure out, is he praying to the donuts or is he saying thanks for the donuts? So that's kind of why she has that like, what is he doing look. So this one most definitely I think will have to be a coloring page. This is Crustacean. You see the crab right here. She's building sandcastles. Meanwhile, Duncan is on his first ever trip to the beach and is flipping out because he has no idea what this thing is and he wants to catch it so Puja can come see. I'm really excited to do that one. I could do a lot with that, I think. This is Wreckage. This is kind of hard to tell what exactly is going on. I ended up doing way more of a close-up than I had originally intended. It's him clinging to the mast of a ship. You can see a little bit of the ship here. There's lots of waves, there's sails. The ship is sinking and he's basically clinging to it for dear life. And again, you see him on his little donut float, his little comical expression. I don't know if you can see it. I love his little cartoony expressions. And you have Puja just kicking the crap out of the water trying to make waves. So again, he's in his character from Castaway, terrified of going in the water despite the fact he lives there. This was another one I didn't like very much. Wrath, excuse my cat, and it's partly because 1, it's the same thing as Fury, 2, I don't really want them to be angry characters, and 3, I just didn't know what to do, so they're pouting at each other. Like, kids do that from time to time, I guess. It works. This I absolutely love. This is probably my favorite from the entire month. This is Ancestors. I drew them for the first time as being a little bit older. and you could see like little ruins from a sunken city down here. She, of course, is snorkeling. She wants to go see the ruins. She wants to go explore and all that stuff while he's like trying to drag her to the surface so she can breathe. This was the first time I ever tried drawing them. I guess these are more like teenage years, I would say. And I kind of like how it came out, and they were pretty cute, so it kind of gave me ideas of further projects that I might want to do with them. This I think might also be a good coloring page. This was futuristic, so you know, when you ask a kid what the future is going to look like, usually it's something like extreme, like hover cars, hover go-karts on Mars. So you see like the crappy Earth in the background, you see a little city back there of Mars, and they're just like driving around the surface. And he has his little mersuit on. So we then have a blaze. I wasn't sure what to do with this one either, and I decided that they were just going to be having marshmallows on the beach. She is smart enough to keep her marshmallow directly out of the fire, whereas Duncan has completely set his on fire. And his mouth is just stuffed with like marshmallows. He probably can't even breathe. This one I wasn't too thrilled with. I didn't really want to do it. I thought it was almost too easy, so it was Siren Song. I figured again they were at the beach. They have like the little rocky outcropping, and then we have a stingray mermaid who's playing with their hair. She's gonna be singing. And you have them kind of doing like the Scooby-Doo thing, like peering over the rocks, and him just kind of like trying to look over her to see what's going on, because I don't know that he's ever seen another mer person besides his family before. So that might have actually been an interesting encounter. This was probably Anthony's favorite. So this was Treasure, and these are actually ferrets. These are ferret pirates, by the way. This is my attempt at drawing a ferret. You have the treasure chest here, and they're hiding kind of like the mangroves, and they're just trying to kind of like see where they're burying their treasure so they can go in to get it later. I definitely think this is going to be something that I could probably turn into a pretty cute coloring page if I have more time, and I can add a lot more to the background, make a lot more details. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So this one was Shark. And I didn't want to do where like he met a shark, though I did toy with the idea of doing like he meets a mako shark and like they try and race and stuff, and of course he would just be beaten down to the ground since makos are the fastest thing ever. But I decided on something simpler. He's again his Castaway character. You have Wilson with his concerned expression kind of like floating in the water, a shark coming their direction, and the reality is it's just Puja underwater and him on his float. This is another one from the Castaway characters. You have Wilson far more content now that they have washed ashore somewhere. And it's just him hugging on his beach ball, talking to Puja. This might actually be, this one here could probably be something kind of cute. Maybe a coloring book page. We'll see. This one was Punk. Again, I wasn't totally sold on an idea for this one. I felt like I kind of got wedged into making this. Like, it felt like the only thing I could really do. No, they do not actually have piercings and have cut hair. They're just pretending. And I'm sure somehow he probably has green hair and she probably has purple, though it probably wash out the second he hit the water. So yeah, it's just a picture. So this one is where it starts getting interesting. This is actually not a prompt for Mermay, but it was an idea I had. I decided to draw it anyway. I kind of thought it would be interesting if he is again a damsel. You might not be able to see that. If he is again playing kind of like a damsel character, he's all tied up. There's someone with the cauldron, and I figured this will be kind of a cute October Halloween theme. Like maybe have a witch or something that's gonna try and cook them, I don't know. This is Bestial, and it's actually not finished. This is something that I was going to try to make into like a little comic strip. They are currently at the zoo. I just called it Seaside Zoo. She is dragging him around in a wagon full of water, which I think is the cutest idea ever, and they are looking at sharks. Right now, Duncan is completely enamored by the fact that the nurse sharks are beautiful, but little does he know they are about to be fed and turn into something bestial. This was Orphan. Again, I didn't want to do anything too sad or too serious, and so I just had them find a litter of kittens. She has one in her arms and playing with her hair, like, you know, cradling him like a little baby. This one is playing with Duncan's tail, and yes, he has one in his mouth. He is not eating it, do not worry. No kittens were harmed in the making of this book. But I think the cat probably got a little rough with his tail, so he just stuffed it in his mouth. Who knows why boys do what they do. So this actually is, like, the ferret idea in general is Anthony's favorite, but he said this was his absolute favorite of the entire month. This was pirate. You have your ferret pirates back there making them walk the plank. They probably got a little handsy with the gold. So you have Duncan, again, terrified to be let into the water, and you have Puja, who's kind of like looking over his shoulder like, oh no, here we go. And then this is my favorite part, is the fact that they're on a diving board with her pet ferrets. She's just pushed his ass into the water. It's like, just get off, just go. That's my favorite part. So the reality is a little bit more fun, in my opinion, than the pretend. We then go on to smartphone. I'm not gonna read everything on here. I was just playing with ideas of them being older. She's college age now. He's got a really weird looking haircut. Yeah, he's got a weird looking haircut. I'm trying to play with the idea of like how this style translates for older characters. So they're having this whole conversation about her, you know, being in college. I'm not sure if she likes it or not, and he's trying to reassure her that she'll do great. And then here, this is what I think smartphone really should have been for him. I just decided to keep him kind of younger, just him underwater, either with a found smartphone or with her smartphone. He's trying to take selfies and he hasn't realized yet that they don't work. And then the final one is here. It's just him, like a really quick sketch. It's not even done yet, of him trying to sleep as a little baby, because that's how I feel today. I'm extremely tired and it's about to kill me. So the book itself is not done, but the month of May is. I'm extremely happy with how most of them came out. It was definitely difficult to kind of push myself through. If you have any favorites, definitely mention them down in the comments. I'm only going to be releasing a few of these as coloring pages. I don't feel like all of them need to be one. And if you have a favorite and you want to see it become a coloring page, I won't know unless you tell me. So definitely comment down below. If you like what you've seen, please like the video. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, you'll definitely see more of them. And you'll see a lot more of the same style coming around for different projects that I have in mind. So thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see you next week with something new. Again, that one will be on Saturday, not on Sunday. This was an exception because of Mermay. So until next Saturday, you guys stay safe.